Hi guys, what's up? I'm Mary Kay Richardson. I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner. I help professionals and entrepreneurs to get past the things that keep them stuck, whether that's strong anxiety, self-doubt, overcoming toxic negative relationships like a narcissistic relationship, and also overcoming unwanted habits. So if you can imagine in your life, you might have strong anxiety. This video is all about you and overcoming something called DPDR, depersonalization, derealization. Let's jump in how you can overcome this. I made a similar video. This is part 2 because there's so much involved with this, but let's jump in. All right, so first of all, depersonalization, derealization are a coping mechanism to strong anxiety. What depersonalization is where you feel that you're not in your body. Things don't seem real. You are moving your arms and legs. You know what reality is, but you just don't feel like you're in your body, like you're sort of hovering outside your body. Derealization is where you feel like there's distance between you and the rest of the world, almost like you're looking through the rest of the world through a glass, where things can even feel very distorted, like the size and shapes of objects can be distorted. Distance, you know it shouldn't, you know that tree in your front yard is not that far away, but it can seem miles away. It can feel distorted like that. Things that happened recently can feel like they happened in like a very distant time in your life. Maybe you just changed jobs, or you have a new career, or you just finished school, or maybe you are going through a divorce and lots of anxiety, and you can feel like that divorce, even though it's very, very recent, you can feel like it happened long ago. So that's where things get a little distorted. Also, when you experience derealization, things and objects can appear blurry, even black and white, in sort of, instead of 3D, kind of a 2D, or larger than life or smaller than life. So they can appear just very, very distorted, fragmented. Again, you're not going crazy. Schizophrenia is very, very different, where schizophrenics can't distinguish between reality and what they're experiencing. With DPDR, you know what is real and what is not real. Those what if thoughts that want to convince you, what if something tragic happens? What if, that's not happening? That's not real, but you're still thinking the what if thought. That's very different. So 50% or more of the population experiences what we call dissociation, or DPDR, at one point in their life. So you're really in good company. A lot of us have experienced it, including myself. It's a response to trauma, really, a response to anxiety. So if you've ever had a lot of traumatic experiences, or just a lot of anxiety over your finances, relationship, your career, that can trigger it. And who hasn't had anxiety over those things, right? So it is more common. Why you're just now hearing about it, maybe, is because people didn't talk about it because they thought they were going crazy. So, of course, the more you deny something is going on, the bigger it becomes, right? It used to be that way about anxiety. People didn't want to talk about it for fear that they would get labeled, or etc. So, but now anxiety, we talk about it all the time because we know the more you deal with it, the better it becomes, or can become. With DPDR, you can also, one of the triggers really quickly is decreased sleep. If your environment is super overstimulating for you, that can be a trigger. If you have attention deficit disorder, you're always overstimulated, or can be. And so it doesn't take much to really overstimulate you in your environment. Too much going on can really be overwhelming. So anything that causes you to feel like your emotions are overwhelmed, that can be a trigger. Also, some people have reported that they just don't know what the trigger was. So I think that's, in a situation like that, it could be just a habit to dissociate or pull out of your body, or pull out from the world away, put a glass between you and the world. All right, so let's get back into it, though I got kind of sidetracked. So as you overcome and recover from DPDR, knowing all this is huge, because knowledge is power. So DPDR can last for hours to months. So hours, days, months, weeks, really is different for everybody. It's usually not permanent. It can also just go away on its own. And if you can think of anxiety, if you're experiencing anxiety, let's say about buying a house, and you're just, really anxious about it, and it's causing you loads of anxiety and so on. Once you finish buying that house and you close on the house, you can imagine that anxiety sort of goes away because it's done, right? So that's an example where, if you're like pulling out of away from yourself and sort of hovering around yourself in depersonalization, well, once that anxiety trigger is sort of taken care of, you may never do it again. All right. However, where it becomes a problem is if you constantly deal with your life this way. So anything that even remotely feels uncomfortable, that's how you deal with it. That's where it could be an issue. So one thing you can absolutely do to overcome it is when you block out the obsessive thinking. And I know you're going to know what this means, those what if thoughts. What if, fill in the blank, what if, I'm not even going to go there, but you know what they are. Those rabbit holes that want to drag you down into a dark abyss of every negative thing that could possibly happen to you. That could definitely be very anxiety provoking, and you could feel like you're dissociating or depersonalizing at that point. So learning how to block out those obsessive what if thoughts is a huge step in overcoming depersonalization, derealization. Also, things that keep you grounded in the moment can help you stop doing it, because you're doing it either as a habit or as a response to trauma. Now, if the trauma just happened, a car wreck or whatever, it's useful because it's your mind, your brain trying to protect you from overwhelming emotions. But if you're doing it just out of habit or because you don't even know why, just, maybe slightly stressed and you're just tired of doing it, you don't want to experience the world in this way, keeping yourself grounded is huge. So I mentioned in my other video some grounding techniques. I'll go through them really fast in case you didn't see that video, but you can check that out as well. Holding an ice cube keeps you in the moment. Hearing loud music can keep you really in the moment, because those what if thoughts often can't keep going if you're pounding with loud music, right? If you have this loud music pounding through your ears. What the goal is to connect you to the here and now, to the present. So looking around your environment and naming things that start with A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever, can be helpful, or just naming objects that you can think of that start with A, B, C, all the way through the alphabet, can keep you grounded in the present as well. Another thing that you can do to overcome DPDR is detaching from negative feelings. So instead of keeping yourself wrapped up in this negativity of, maybe you have you're trying to break away from a toxic relationship, a narcissistic relationship with maybe a family member. And you keep going back and interacting with that person, and you can go no contact, but you just haven't done it yet. Detaching from negative feelings that come up, maybe even when the narcissist isn't around you, or maybe when those stressors aren't even happening, you're bringing them back into the present moment by thinking of them. Like that time, in the distant past, your first job when you got fired, well, that's 20 years ago, but yet you still go back to that and you still think about it. In other words, you're pulling the past into the present, and you're still pounding yourself with those negative feelings. So the way to get past that is to detach from any negative feelings that trigger high anxiety and trigger this wanting to dissociate. All right, so grounding techniques are huge. Another grounding technique that you might be interested in is to keep your eyes moving. Now, obviously, if you're driving, focus on the road. First, and also, I'm not a medical doctor, so always, if you think you have an issue with this, always seek out medical help. Go to your doctor. So keeping your eyes moving keeps you, as I'm doing now, keeps you grounded in the present because you're taking control of your eyes, making them look at different things. And that keeps you coming back to the present, to the here and now, and not staying outside your body. I like this one. This is one of my favorites. I call it the peace and anxiety away. So you breathe in peace and you exhale anxiety and it goes away. So try that. That could be a big help to you as well. So I'm Mary Kay Richardson. I hope that these grounding techniques will help you start the recovery process from DPDR, depersonalization, derealization, and at least get control over it because you don't want it to control you. You want to be in control. All right. So again, I'm Mary Richardson. I help professionals and entrepreneurs to get past those things that keep them stuck in life rather than going forward and accomplishing their goals and being the best version of themselves. So I help you get past strong anxiety, self-doubt, procrastination, and even unwanted habits. So have a great rest of your day whenever you're watching this. I'll see you in the next video.